Well, collectors, here we are again. I think we're on, what is it, Ob, number 153?
153, that's right.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me, and I'm sure a lot of people, you were pretty happy about the election. I know Barry and I are. We were kind of worried there for a while with all the predictions, but turned out to be a landslide, didn't it? And
it was a good day for America.
I think so too. Barry was telling me you have a shop in Millville, and you had a little party.
Yeah,
for,
the Sunday after the election, we had mainly our good customers come in and friends, but we had about 70 to 80 people come there.
That's a lot of people.
It was so festive in our shop that you might have thought we won World War II again, or avoided World War III.
We probably avoided World War III, I think. Well, we shall see. But so we're going to have a little toast to the.
Yes, we are.
Well, who are our returning guest stars here, Dad?
Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody knows you guys anyhow. For those of you that may not know, this is my friend Barry Smith, and this is Michele. And Barry's a dealer in Militaria, and Michele, she's a gun dealer, so look out. Got a license too, right?
Yeah. I got a license.
And what Michele does too when she comes here, she's got a union card to be a bartender. So we let her do that, and because of the successful election, we thought we'd have a little toast.
Sounds good
for
to
that,
me.
right? What the heck? You know?
A little Italian champagne, some Prosecco.
Yeah, well.
So we're going to crack it open.
Oh, hey,
Here
that
we
was
are.
a good one. Wow, you know how to do that, don't you?
Yeah.
It's not all over the ceiling.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't had any champagne since
the
last
time we were months ago.
I think I drank both bottles last time. That wasn't so good.
Yeah, I think a bubbly went to your
It's
head.
hard to believe, but this is our 5th visit here.
Wow.
Really?
Our 5th DTC.
Did we do
video
videos?
test.
Well, then what the hell am I introducing you for? Everybody certainly
I don't know.
knows.
Maybe it's a new viewer.
New viewers, right. Especially after the election.
Well, that's true, though. There's new viewers all the time.
Sure,
You know,
yeah.
and, you can't expect that everybody
here you
saw
are.
every one of these videos and watched it, and most of these guys, I think they just go through it on fast forward to see what the good stuff is, and that's it anyhow. But
Well, people were worried about you last week. Even I got phone calls because you didn't have a video last week.
I know we got a couple people wrote in, "Is Whitman dead?" You know, that's the usual reaction. We just, I guess I can say it, I'm old. We didn't feel like it. How's that?
Okay.
We didn't feel like it.
Well, you know Steve and Susie at the Allentown show.
I do,
She's
yeah.
always saying you got to mention the gals too.
Yeah, that's right,
Well,
yeah.
on Tuesday, when the video didn't appear, they called me up. They said, "Hey, Steve
Whitman
says,
dead?"
is Whitman okay?" I said, "Trust me, he's okay. I've been in touch with him."
See, that's what it is. I guess when you do something every week, everybody depends on it.
yeah.
You know, that Monday morning or whenever it gets
Sure.
up, and they're already there. They got their beer out or whatever, and they turn the thing on, and nothing there.
Yeah.
So,
Can you imagine if General Hospital didn't appear one day?
Well, there'd probably be calls. Is the producer dead? Or,
Yeah.
General Hospital.
Well, apparently that's the way it is.
All right,
Well,
so here,
anyhow.
cheers.
So cheers,
Here's your
everybody.
2025.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Be careful of that glass, too.
Yeah, watch
There's
your
a-
lips. Watch your
that
lips.
little
Mark.
cheap little chip there.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Delicious.
Oh, yeah. That'll hit the spot.
Oh, it's nice and dry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it. I like the dry. Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, we got Thanksgiving coming up this week, Pop.
Yeah, I was in the Acme this morning, and I said I want to get my free turkey, and they said, well, you have to do it through the computer. I said, what do you mean? I'm here every day. I spend a lot of money here. No, you have to go through the computer. And she says, you know, you get the website. I said, look, I don't even have a cell phone. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll buy my own turkey. They
They should have helped you out, really.
They wouldn't do a thing for me. It's all got to be done by computer.
So who's coming over for Thanksgiving?
Well, just Mo and Wendy are local friends. My kids, they all go to in-laws, it seems like, on Thanksgiving, but they're all here on Christmas. We have a big crowd on Christmas.
How many pound turkey did you get?
I didn't buy it yet. I was so mad when I walked in the store. I don't know. I think I'll get a 15 pounds. That's enough. You just want to have enough so you can make sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a big thing.
Leftovers are great.
It's one of my absolute favorite things to eat. We have a friend, he's deceased now, Robert Brooks Jackson, one of our best friends. He was in the 45th Infantry Division during World War II.
Yeah.
But after his wife died, we invited him over for Thanksgiving dinners for maybe 2 or 3 years. But then he said, you know, it's a shame you only have turkey once a year. So we said, Bob, it doesn't have to be that way. So every year after that, until he died, we'd have him over in January for a complete Thanksgiving dinner.
And give him 2 dinners ago. He loved it.
Yeah.
He absolutely loved it.
Well, my favorite part about the turkey, I like to make the gravy using the gizzard and the liver and the neck. You know, you boil it for about 3 hours, and boy, is that great.
Yes, it is.
Who's that peeking up
And
there?
who's this peeking up here? Who's this guy, huh? Oh.
There he is.
Oh, there he is, Mr. Jack.
Hi.
You
Jack is
collectors
back.
remember Jack?
Hey there.
Yeah.
Buddy. All right.
Jack guy, yeah. You be nice now, Jack. Jack will look forward to having some turkey too, I think, yeah. All right, Jack, you got on the camera now, okay? We'll put you down on the floor. There you go.
Well, it's been great talking turkey with you.
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah. Well, okay. I guess we did enough rambling on
Let me
and on
put these over here for the thing, so we're going to mix it up in a bit.
We'll start out. We'll start out with a box, I think. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Let's see what we got, Barry.
You told me you have 3 today is all.
That's all, yeah. Dude, start on the first one. And
Okay.
where's that one coming from?
This one is coming from Cayucos, California.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
don't know if I pronounced that right.
Sounds-
Cayucos.
Sounds good to me. It's not a place I really have ever been, though, I don't think. But this lady has sent me some stuff in the past, too. She's disposing of the collection that her and her husband put together a number of years ago, and so I've been getting some stuff little by little here. She sent me a sailor's uniform that belonged to her father, who was a German sailor.
Oh, I remember that. That was really nice.
Her father,
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Looks like we got a menu in here or something.
Bob Seafood. So it looks
right.
like we have, well, I'll let you reveal it.
All right. Looks like it might be some kind of a cap, Barry.
You need to
Right there.
Oh, it's the cap from it's the Lindemann cap that's in the photograph of him. That's his cap.
Yeah, you're right. His name's in it, too.
How long ago did you get the uniform?
Just not too long ago. A couple
Wow.
weeks ago,
You
maybe.
still have it?
I just put it up, yeah.
Oh, well, you have to go with it.
It's
Yeah, that's it.
it's white,
There's
it's-
his name in
Nice.
it, and
yeah, it's nice. It's not
wow. What is that, Barry? Third?
Yep. Third Marine Unteroffiziers Lehrabteilung.
Wow, that's the longest
It
ribbon
is.
I've ever seen with all the writing
The
on it.
3rd Naval NCO course instructional battalion.
Wow.
She
Is
must
that
looks
kind
like
of
an
a rare
earlier-
thing, or
Looks a little earlier too, because I'm not real familiar with these,
Yeah.
but it lacks the eagle and swastika.
Does it say Lindemann in it too?
yeah, I think it says it in the back there.
Actually, it looks like a different name to me.
maybe.
Maybe Morten or Vortensen.
Oh, so that one's not her father's
Yeah,
then.
you might have
Oh.
to ask her about that.
Does the white mean that it's summer, or is it just Navy always wore
I
white?
think it's summer.
Summer, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think we've ever had one of them, Ob. Do you remember having one?
No, not white. No.
Yeah.
No.
And
Oh,
the
it's
Germans call these a Tellermütze, which means a plate cap. 'Cause they
Plate cap.
kinda
Yeah, it looks like a
shape
plate.
like-
Yeah.
Just do me a favor real quick, Barry. Behind you in that closet, there's a package in there with a picture of him on the front of it. Just open that up, that door right there. No, the other one. Right, and now look down.
Oh yeah. Oh, this was a picture of her father.
And that's the hat.
You know what? It does look like it could be.
No, it's definitely a different cap.
Is it?
It's got a
this one's
different
got an
cap
eagle
tally
on
and
it,
has
too.
the
Oh,
eagle.
okay, yeah.
You can see it's a little
Yeah.
wider at the top, too.
Okay, then good. I won't put it
Not the
together.
same kind of thing, right? But you're probably correct. This is earlier without
I'm thinking
an eagle
this
on
is probably Reichswehr period.
it. Could be.
Yeah.
It's in good shape.
Yeah, it is.
Super.
Size 56.
There you
Well,
go.
remember though, the Navy didn't really adopt the SWAS until 1937, so they were probably wearing that well into the Third Reich time. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Something we haven't seen. What's we
Got the
got
Bob
next?
Burns cutter.
Oh, Bob Burns, yeah, good old Bob. Those cutters are holding out.
Now this one's coming from.
We get your dad some more
Is there any
champagne.
more champagne?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why mine gets drunk faster than everybody else's.
Well, this
Yeah, well, I
is
didn't want to say anything.
this is an interesting place. I'm not sure I should even say it.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's coming from Cumming, Georgia. Cumming.
Okay.
This should be exciting.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Nobody's spilled a drop yet, I think.
You want a little more up?
Sure.
Tasty. I like it dry like this.
So what'd you give those 70 guys that were down to see you at your celebration party? Are you drinking beer or what were they drinking?
Well, right next to our shop is the Glasstown Brewing Company.
Aha.
So we got a keg there, and actually
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
2 kegs. We ran
we
out.
killed it, so we had to get another one. But we served hot dogs. Michelle and her friend made chicken cutlets the night before, and
Yeah, other people brought some other good food, and we had wine and red wine and white wine.
Did
It
you
was
know
fun.
you were going to have that big of a crowd?
We figured between 60 and 100. We had probably 70 to 80 people through there. It was fun. We were singing
Yeah.
and music playing, and
Oh, that's great
it
fun,
was
yeah.
it was really a lot of fun. It was well
So you had
appreciated.
enough food then because you knew you were going to have that
Yeah,
many
we
people.
had 100 hot dogs.
Yeah, that's
So and they had a
should be
hot dog
plenty.
machine and some salads and some appetizers, and
Oh, that sounds like a good
yeah,
event.
it was good.
it was.
So what do we got here? Where was this coming from? What state?
From Cumming, Georgia.
Georgia.
Never heard of that place.
No. Well, looks like we got a couple of things here. Might be some edge weapons, I think.
Looks like it.
Looks like it, yeah.
Daggery, right?
Dagger, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Guys are writing in too many daggers. Other guys write in, are you nuts? You know. That looks like a police panic, doesn't
Sure
it?
does.
You know,
Looks
I've
like
known-
it's in great shape.
yeah, it does. I know that where are we pulling off the upper scabbard mount here? Maybe the staple's out of it, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, that's no big deal to fix. Yeah, the staple's out. Also, I see no throat.
No, there's no throat.
Yeah, the throat's going on it too. That's not a good thing. That's a shame. And let's see, he's got the mount on backwards too, I believe. Seeing as the seam goes that way. So the mount. Well, I'll mess with that later, but the scabbard is sure nice. It's a brown rural police type. You know, the municipal police were the black variety. And there are no serial numbers on it either, which is not seen too often. But it is definitely a cut-down blade, so it did have a longer blade at one time during the Weimar period, and they cut the blade down when Himmler took over the police in 1936. But boy, it sure is a nice condition
It is,
bayonet, though.
Blade's nice.
I've had a lot of these, but I don't think we've had one with the brown scabbard.
No.
Brown
I'd say they're
scabbards
probably-
are not seen often. They're
Probably 10 times rarer.
see that. I'm sure that comes off there, but I'll have to look and see if I got a part for that. You know, it's a shame to not be able to, you know, put this back the way it should be, because it's such a nice piece. It's a WKC.
A beautiful blade. Really.
Yeah. You know what else is interesting too with this, that something probably most people would never notice. I don't even know why I notice stuff like that myself, but these originally had a clamshell on them, which they took the clamshell off, and because of that it was necessary to reduce the size of the hilt accordingly. So they had to recut the grip plates to fit the proper size, and then you'll see 2 rivets go through the grip plates. But on the case of this one, the back of the rivets are finished, and you never see that. So whoever was working on this particular piece must have been a fussy guy, and oh, I'm going to do this right, and he dressed the heads on the back of the rivets. So that's kind of a neat thing, just because you never see it, you know.
I wouldn't have noticed it. Yeah.
No, most people wouldn't, but I like stuff like that. And you can also see, which is another thing that's nice, he countersunk the stag area that went underneath that. Yeah. So this was some real extra care that went into this thing. This guy wasn't the regular group that was doing them. And probably the boss was saying, "Will you hurry up with that? You're taking too long. We got 100 of these to do." And but anyhow, I like that. I hope I can find a throat for it. I forget whether the throats were held by side screws or reverse screw, but there's no screw provision here either. I hope the damn thing wasn't cut off. Well, we'll see. And then what else we got here? Well, it looks like we got a WKC Army dagger. And of course we know that. We've shown you guys a lot of times with that hatchet beak that the WKC Eagle has. And also you want to see just one screw in the scabbard, the one there and none over here. So hopefully this is a WKC piece. All right, we lucked out, it is. So this is all 100% original, and it has a nice blade on it. Nice grip, nice dark orange, you know. It is really, yeah.
Grip,
Is that a personalization on the crossguard? Looks like it.
It looks like something scratched there. Maybe an R or something. It's not well done at all, but
It looks like maybe a P.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, guys did that because if you had to go to a meeting and you had to leave your dagger in the front of the meeting, there's a whole pile of them, and this way you could tell which one was yours, I guess. Because he wasn't doing that on an ego trip, that's for sure. He just wanted to be able to to identify his dagger.
Yep. York and Piper said, "Whatever happened to my dagger?"
Yeah. But that's not a bad piece.
No.
And the police piece, I hope we can do something with. Well, we'll see. Okay. I'll tell the man that sent it in that it's not as good as he thought it was. So, now what do we got here?
This one looks like it's coming from, here it is, Shreveport, Louisiana.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah, me too.
I've heard of that place. I don't know what part of the state that city is, but I've definitely heard of it. How's that Bob Burns cutter working?
It's outstanding.
Like a gem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob gets mad when we say the cutter's not working. You know, he always says, "You know, you're supposed to break the end off of it, and you got a fresh part there." And I'll tell him, "Oh, I didn't know that. I threw the whole cutter away," and he gets mad. And
Are you still selling them for him?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Bob's retiring with his cutters.
This looks a little daggery too.
Yeah, this, I don't know what we got here. I remember the note said something about his father had a collection, and his father passed, and his father had the things displayed with a knife somewhere, one place, and a scabbard somewhere else, and he didn't know where anything went, didn't know what anything is. And I said, well, why don't you just send it over to us, and we'll try to figure out
Match
what we
it up.
got. So I guess we can try to do that. Let's see what we got a loose scabbard there, that's for sure. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this is a little buggered up, but oh, hello.
Looks good.
Hello. Well, this is, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. The scabbard is split here. It appears that something fell right at that point, and it caused the scabbard to split open. However, though, this stuff these dents can come out, and perhaps the scabbard will go back into place once the dent's out. Because this is not a scabbard you want to just go, that's a throwaway, because it says on the top, Reich Handwerksmeister. So this would be some kind of a trade organization,
artisan, yeah.
some kind of
So he's
artisan,
a master artisan.
and
It's backwards too.
it's in the scabbard's on backwards,
yeah,
but
I want to be on the back like that.
let's just put it the other way. And the blades a ground room.
It's numbered too, Bob.
Richard Herder. Oh boy, it is, isn't it? Look at there.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wow. So I think, I mean, you can't be sure, but I think this fellow probably was a master craftsman, and maybe he was very proud of it. Maybe he had a job with that and put that on the back of his scabbard.
Yeah.
He wouldn't wear it on the front, but on the back, yeah. Now the serial number might check out.
Yeah. I'd contact Ross and see if he could get his file, and that would
Yeah.
confirm whether
You take it out and get the numbers.
confirm what his job was.
Yeah, can you get that up? Well, this is an interesting dagger, though, I think.
Is it an anodized scabbard or?
Yeah, it's anodized, yeah.
Boy, that scabbard was nice too.
Well, hopefully we can fix that up. I'm sure we can get it a lot better than what it is, anyhow.
Nothing on the throat. Okay.
Now, there's something else in here, too.
And who's the maker of that, Dad?
It's a Richard Herder. Herder's the company with the diamond trademark.
You might like that.
Oh, wow. What do we got here? Well, this is a simple repair here. Looks like a beautiful chain.
Sure does.
Boy, look at that chain. Wow.
Scabbard's nice too.
It's a beauty, isn't it?
It is, yeah. What model is the chain?
It's the Type 2.
Type 2.
But it is a all nickel chain. Let's see if they got the, yeah, there's our cultivation mark there on the back. And that's how you see it. They're lightly stamped on these Type 2. On the Type 1, they're really kind of banged in there. So this is something that is pretty easy to fix. We have some original connector tabs too, so we can complete that without a. Now
you just got to find the blade.
yeah, if there is a blade, I don't know.
Looks like it's SS day.
Wow.
Oh, well, another one. You kidding me?
Shame.
Wow. Look at this, collectors. Wow. It's another type 2 with an anodized scabbard. Got a screw missing, but that's not a problem. And nice blade. This is a hemisphere. This one also was a ground room.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can see it.
No number on this one. But the way this guy talked, I don't know whether this dagger belongs to this, or, you know, you don't really know. But I would say, just, you know, judging by the overall condition, this does seem to be correct. Even though it's a maker marked piece. You know, we see maker marked daggers in chained SS's, and we all know the ones that were factory made had no maker mark on them. But what happened during the time, this man was awarded a Rome SS in the day. Later he had it ground down, and then later on he qualified to wear the chain dagger. So times were tough then, and to him the daggers were the same, so he said, I'll use my my original dagger, and we see that a lot of times. So boy, it fits great too.
Yeah, that's a great looking piece.
So I think that's a real gem by today's standards. That is a real gem, and this scabbard too is also a real beauty. It's a later scabbard. The way you can tell that, this is an early scabbard, and see how crisp the edges are on that center ramp,
I sure
and
do.
see how they're not on this center ramp. So it's a big difference on the later
the detail
type.
to the swastika.
Yeah, not as crisp at all.
Right.
But that's kind of what you see on later pieces. So wow. So we got not one but two chained SS's. Huh? Wow. And this serial numbered piece too looks. I mean, if we can get this scabbard straightened out.
Yeah, that could be a real winner there.
Yeah. I guess if the dagger's so nice, if the scabbard for one reason just doesn't come out, it's possible we could use a scabbard of the same vintage and transfer the fittings. There'd be no real crime in that as long as it's in the same condition, same vintage, because it's a shame to have this looks like a rather important piece to me. Well, who knows what's going to happen, you know, over the years. And
did you get a
Yeah, I got a
photo of the number? I'm just wondering
Yeah, I
if
did.
I can read it.
yeah,
So maybe somebody's out there who can look it up. Because sometimes I've done that, look up SS numbers, and
Sure.
they're already on the internet.
well, I have the book. I can look that up right now if we want to.
23189.
We looked up the SS serial number, and unfortunately, it's not on the Dienstalter list. So it means that the man was not an officer. And I was just asking Barry. I said, "Well, gee, just because he's a handwork expert, you don't necessarily have to be an officer, right?" So, but Barry brought up a good point too, though. You see on this, it says Meister after his title, and Germans weren't the kind of society that allowed you to call yourself a Meister.
That's right.
Unless you had been basically given that title
Right.
by the
What-
the union group that was
Right.
involved with the handwork. So,
no matter what business, too. I mean, even bakers, they were baker meisters, too.
but it was a title that was given to them. You just didn't say, well, I've been hanging around here 9 years. I think I know what the hell I'm doing now, so I'm Meister Whitman. You couldn't do that, right? Not in Germany. It didn't work that way. So, collectors, right. I don't know what we have here yet, but I think it's a rather exciting group of things here, just to come in out of the blue. So, our next task, I guess, is to get this this chain reconnected, which is no problem, and then see if we can find a nice later unmarked SS dagger that would work with the scabbard, and then we're in good shape. And in this one, I think we have everything here, right?
Yeah.
Just have a maker mark blade.
That one's ready to go. That's great.
Yeah, so there we are. Nice outside on it, too. Okay, now we're going to do the second half of this video. Barry's been gracious enough to bring a few things here to show us, and we're going to do that. But first, where the hell's the bartender?
Bartender?
Here we go.
Oh, there she is. Oh, yeah.
Finally.
Now we're going to the strong stuff. We go from Champagne to Imperial and Stellatois.
Okay.
So since this is easy.
Just make mine light. You guys know I don't drink much. Right?
No more, no less.
No more, no less, yeah. And you're going to have some beer.
Some Stella.
Stella,
so every time I have one of these, I send a shout out to my Belgian friends.
Yep.
Sheil and Sander and Tim. To you guys. Sell me some Solvol.
So Stella's made in Belgium?
Oh yeah. I even asked Tim one time, I said, is this considered a good beer in Belgium? He said, yeah, it is.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It's not a junk beer that they're sending to America.
Is it made in Belgium, though, and import, or do they make it in America?
I think they make it in, it might be Canada. Now.
Canada, yeah.
But yeah, it's not made here, but they got the recipe right.
Uh-huh. Tastes okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, I like it.
Bob, you're having one too, right?
Oh, yeah.
We don't make them too strong.
That's good for me. Robbie likes more than that, but
we'll give him as much as he wants.
That should be fine for now. Thank you.
I hear,
it's about even.
Hear Jack barking up there. Maybe he wants to get back in the TV room.
That's a good pour, Michelle.
I'll go up after I make your drinks. I'll go accommodate him.
I'm going to go up and see what's the matter with Jack. Be right back. Don't drink my drink.
All right, here we are. This is for Ob.
All right.
This is for the boss.
I'm not waiting on the boss. Cheers. Here's
Should we sprinkle a little Mickey in that, or he doesn't need it?
No, don't do that to him.
Right, so
Probably straighten him out.
I'll polish off the Italian champagne, the Prosecco. So quite a bit.
Anyhow, if anybody's interested, here's Barry's website and phone number and information. Barry and Michele. Right here in Jersey and Millville. So if you feel the need to contact them, please do.
Come on down and see us. There's a microbrewery, as I mentioned, right across the street.
Did you get the pizza place running yet?
There's two restaurants there, a library, a brewery.
Yeah, it's a fun place. We had it on the video one time.
And a museum.
Yeah, next year we're hoping to open the pizza place and the museum, probably in the spring.
Stuff that I forgot to show that we can do after you're done.
Okay. What happened to Jack?
I went up there and I didn't see him.
Oh, okay. He's probably barking at the cat.
Everything under control, Tom?
No.
No?
I had this stuff laid out so I wouldn't forget to bring it out, and I forgot it. So
we'll get to it.
Let's
see what Barry has.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the first thing I wanted to bring up, Michele and I were at the show in Union, New Jersey. It used to be 5 times a year. They had it for 30 years, and then I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, it went defunct. But Mitch and his girlfriend Jen are doing a really great job for the last year and a half, getting the old dealers back, and this last show that we attended was really great. A lot of people came in. The gate was good. A lot of dealers and a lot of activity. So
it's interesting too, because you got to get in there about 6:45 in the morning, or else you miss everything.
we get there at 6.
It's 6, yeah. Well, parking lot too.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's all over by 9.
It is.
Yeah. Just
you can get your hand slapped there too. Believe me, I've seen it happen before.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But there's a lot of money that flies around that show.
There is,
a lot of things. There's not much time for, well, I think I'll think about it, because as soon as your finger leaves, the next guy comes in and...
no question about it. Yeah, it's a lot of competition there, and it's such a small room that it really happens quick.
The fact too that it's really it's right outside of New York City, so the population of that area is really vast.
Connecticut, you get people coming from Connecticut, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And then
New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. Well, we also went to Chiaffi's too. When we
that's a restaurant that I know about.
Yeah, in October of last year, Ob and Tom invited us to go to Chiaffi's. They'd been going there previously.
Yeah.
And they liked the bartender there.
Yeah, and Tommy.
Yeah, remember that? Shall we tell them about Tommy?
I've been calling the bartender Tommy for years, and introduced him to Barry as Tommy, and the bartender says, "My name's not Tommy, it's Eddie."
Yeah, well, my mom and I went in there without you another time, and
without me in there,
Tommy wasn't working. So I said, "Hey, is Tommy here?"
No, it's the other way around. His name is Tommy.
No, wait a minute. That's right. It is Tommy.
We call him Eddie.
You were calling him Eddie. Yeah. That's it.
We only call him Eddie because he reminds us of a bartender in town that we know. And then we're like, oh yeah, that guy that's like Eddie, and then we just called him Eddie by accident.
Yeah. So I went in there with my mom and I said, "Hey, is Eddie working today?" And they said, "There's nobody named Eddie here." I'm like, "What? Eddie?" I kind of described him, and they're like, "Tommy?" I said, "Well, I guess it's Tommy then." Yeah. So then I remember seeing the two of you at the Allentown show, and I said, "You know, Eddie is not his real name. It's Tommy." So when we were up there in October, I took this picture of.
Oh yeah, we'll have to put that on the wall. Yeah, there he is.
Wow.
He's a character. He's really worth seeing. He watches your videos too.
Yeah. There's a shout out to Tommy
Eddie. It's a shout out to Eddie /Tommy.
Sorry
whatever
about that,
your
Tom.
name is. Whatever your name is, Eddie, you're the best bartender, a really nice guy.
He is. He's great. Yeah.
And Michelle too. And Michelle.
We'll catch up with him soon.
Michelle goes
really
up there
lunch.
too, you know. It's not just Barry and his mother.
We had a really good lunch with him last Saturday at the place. It was
Yeah, and he asked about you
He was
too.
asking about you, watching your videos.
Yeah, I gotta get up there. His appetizer things are just. I wind up getting 3 or 4 appetizers and never get to the main meal. Just so good. But that's a good place. Do you know what town it's in at all?
That's in Union.
It is
Downtown
in
Union. Yeah. And
So that's an incentive for you guys to go to that show too.
And by the way, the next Union show is quite a way away. It's March the 15th.
Oh.
We'll put that on.
It'll be nicer weather then.
Yeah.
Not as dark.
Maybe.
And here's something I'd like to bring up. And when you collect, unfortunately, as long as we do, you lose people. And we all lost a really good friend back in October. I know a lot of you collectors know who he was, but John Tellismanage unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, John.
He helped a lot of people.
He helped us a lot.
Yeah.
He was a real expert on insignia and SS
Medals too.
And, and a very, very nice guy.
Yeah. You could always count on him.
Oh yeah.
Always help you. Yeah, he was a great guy.
He had a bout with the Big C there and went through hell with it for 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years, yeah.
And then eventually the Big C got the best of him.
Yeah.
But,
Squamous cell carcinoma, the sinuses.
Yeah.
But he fought till the end.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. How old was John? About 60 maybe?
I think he was 57.
Yeah, that's too young.
Yeah.
Too young.
Yeah. But a great guy, and we're going to miss him. And when somebody dies like this, I always think of their knowledge that's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to say something too. I'm sure you collectors, anybody that's been collecting for a while, knows the name Ron Winan. And Ron's a great friend of mine and a expert. Wrote a fantastic book on the NPA. And every show that Ron ever went to, his buddy and wife Margaret was there. And Margaret was a great woman. Tremendous sarcasm she had. She'd have you rolling in the aisles with how she would insult people. She's great, but I loved Margaret, and I'm sorry to say that that she passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Didn't know that.
And it's going to be a tough time for Ron too, because he's not in the best of health. But
Yeah.
I understand that his children are helping out. So that's the problem with us. You know, we're getting up in years, and seems like all the friends, you know, that you had little by little, one by one, and if you're the lucky one, you're kind of the last one standing. You know, that's the way I find it anymore. It's pretty scary, but
Yeah.
But anyhow, R.I.P. to John Telesmanich and Margaret Winan, also a very great woman.
And recently, well, back
Something more pleasant.
in the summer, well, one more obituary. One of my absolute, well, probably my absolute best friend in Germany. He was a German ID book collector. His name was Henner Lindlar, and what a great guy he was. He was very knowledgeable, especially with documents. ID books, German ID books.
Boy, that's a good guy to know.
Yeah, yeah, and he had a lot of them too. And thankfully, his brother, after Henner passed away, got in contact with me. And he was good enough to offer me first shot at Henner's collection.
Yeah.
So,
what was his name again?
Henner Lindlar. 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 Yeah.
I don't believe I ever had any contact with him. So.
Yeah, because he was more of a paper guy.
Yeah.
Some cloth he did too.
It's like he's got a nice cocktail going there.
Oh yeah.
He loved to drink.
He was from Bielefeld, and actually Michele and I visited him in Germany one time in a town of Holzminden. We had a bunch of people gather at a bar in Holzminden, and Henner was able to make it there. So I only met him once.
You mentioned Bielefeld too. That's we see that town a lot associated with fire department stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and they must have had a huge place there where they sold fire equipment or whatever.
Well, I got something else from Bielefeld I'm going to show you today that I think you're going to find really interesting. So,
all right.
Again, I'm going to miss Henner a lot, and all the knowledge that he had, again, is lost.
Yeah.
But I wanted to show you one grouping that I was able to get from Henner's brother Jens, and it's the one that I've known about for a long time, and I'm really, really grateful to have gotten it.
Wow, look at that Waffen SS book.
Oh yeah.
And that's a real one too.
So
and another
we
one.
have the Verpass, which was kept in the headquarters of the unit, and we have the Soul book, which he actually would have carried on him. But this is an extra special one.
Wow. Are they both to the same man?
Yes.
Wow, that's wonderful, isn't it?
His name was, it's a crazy last name, Józef Milczycki.
Milczycki?
Milczycki.
Sounds Polish.
Yeah. And the best part about it is that he was selected for Hitler's Führerbegleitkommando, basically his bodyguard service.
Oh, that was a very honorary position. They didn't give that to anybody.
So you can see he served with, I'm reading it upside down, a couple of Totenkopf units to begin with. But then in let me read this real quick. December of '42, he was selected for Hitler's SS Escort Command.
Wow.
So we have his Soul book, Verpass, and his personnel file, which is really incredible because each time he wanted to go on leave...
Oh, this is right out of the document center. Wow.
Well,
look at that. Wow.
It's curious as to where it came from because the records were kept in what was called the Führerwohnung, Hitler's apartment within the new Reichschancellery.
For those kind of people.
Yeah, Yeah, so every time he went on leave, he had to see the commander of the unit. I think he was a Hauptsturmführer, captain, and his name was Griesenbuch. And there's probably 100 signatures of Griesenbuch in here. Every time Milchitsky would go on leave, he had to put in a formal request. So the formal requests are in here, and it's interesting that when he would go on leave, he requested not to be in SS uniform. He didn't want to wear his uniform. And it's very, very interesting to me, too, that he had to leave this behind, his soul book behind at the Reichschancellor each time. I guess they didn't want it to get into...
That's just to make sure that he didn't forget to come home.
But this is a really great piece. I think probably when he went home on leave, this is what he actually took with him. But it's the only one I've ever seen. It's a Sonderausweis, a special ID issued to him. And basically, it's the equivalent of a Secret Service pass.
I would think with an ID like that, he could go anywhere he wanted to. I mean, that had to be, yes, sir. And
from my research, I found there were probably about 80 people who were in the Führerbegleitkommando.
And he was a Hauptsturmführer?
No, that would have been his commander. He was a pretty low rank, actually. He was a Rotenführer, which is basically a corporal.
Yeah.
But this is what I found very interesting. Everybody has seen this photo, I believe, of Hitler on a plane. And he's reading the Volkischer Beobachter, the People's Observer. And there's probably 15-20 minutes of footage. So we see Hitler in the front here. But I noticed right after I had acquired this from Henner's brother, I was looking at the video, and in the back, sitting in the back, 2 seats behind Hitler, I have a better photo of it at home. But I'm convinced that it's...
Oh, that's the same man.
Milchitsky.
Yeah. Wow, how about that? So he accompanied Hitler on these special missions and so forth. Oh, he was obviously very, very well thought of then. A very dependable guy.
And I think he did survive the war, too. I'm working on that right now.
Oh, that's really an interesting dossier. When are you going to get his dagger, Barry?
You'll get it before I do.
Well, you never know. It might be out there. You know, stranger things have happened. Isn't that something, collectors? I'm glad that Barry brought these things, because we don't see much of that kind of thing, because old Whitman doesn't know anything about it. So I'm hesitant to make too big of a fool out of myself. So I kind of
never even seen that SS card before. That thing is bad.
Yeah,
man, it's cool.
It's neat.
And I just thought these are hanging up on my wall in my collection room, and you've mentioned Otto Gunsche many times before. I actually visited him 6 times.
Yeah.
And he was Hitler's adjutant for the last 2 years of the war, and he was actually a member of Hitler's Führerbegleitkommando earlier in the war.
Yeah.
I remember saying to Otto, he got the phone call when he was in Italy, 1943. I said, "Were you happy that Hitler called you?" And he goes, "Yeah."
Yeah, Gunsche, he apparently was a nice man too. I have a collector that was close with Gunsche, that he met at the Knights Cross meetings that they used to have in the 90s.
Yeah, that's him, isn't it?
Is that
Mueller?
Mueller, Richard Mueller?
Yeah,
I've
Richard
had contact
Mueller.
with him. Yeah.
And in fact, I have an unsigned Hitler painting that Hitler gave to Gunsche for his birthday, and Gunsche sold it to Mueller, and I have the letter from Gunsche, you know, that was the painting and so forth, with a photograph of Gunsche that's signed. He's at Rostenburg with Hitler there, like you say, the last couple of years of the war,
Well, Gunsche, too.
I found it interesting, too. One other thing, I looked up Gunsche in the SS Dienstalter list, and he's not listed until 1944. Isn't that strange? So maybe what it could be was that he was not an officer until he was made Hitler's adjutant, and then is on the...
I think he was
I don't know.
Untersturmführer pretty early.
Well, then it seems strange that he's not listed in I don't know why, but he is in the Waffen SS 1944 Dienstausstellung. So
one of my favorite stories about Gunsche is that he's one of the people who actually threw the match on Hitler. Several people probably were trying to light up the fuel, but he told me he was absolutely 100% convinced that both bodies were completely burned.
yeah,
And he has trouble, and also that artillery came into the Reichschancellery garden and blew the spot up. He really thinks that the Soviets probably didn't find anything of him, but that's what he told me.
I think I may be mistaken, but I also think that Gunsche carried Hitler's body out.
I don't think it was Hitler. I think it was. I think it might have been
Eva.
Eva
It was
Braun.
Eva,
Yeah.
But he was absolutely there.
Yeah. And another.
And all these stories that it wasn't really Hitler and all that kind of stuff. This man was not a liar.
No, he wasn't. A little known fact too. Everybody knows the July 20th bomb plot too. Well, Gunsche was in that room at the time. He also, I think, he got the silver 20th of July wound badge.
Yeah.
But absolutely, I know this for a fact. Gunsche carried Hitler out of that building.
After the
but I've never read it before.
Yeah.
Where's the wound badge?
Well, this is too early.
I know, but does he still
He
have it?
has it, and I'll tell you what else he has. After they burned Hitler's body, he wound up going back down into the bunker. He went into Hitler's office. He grabbed his pen off of his desk.
Oh, yeah.
And I've handled that many times. In
that,
fact, maybe next time I'll bring a picture
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. But his son has it
Whatever
now.
happened to that pistol? Was that ever really? I know there was a dealer that was selling a Smith & Wesson that claimed that it was the pistol that Hitler. But
I only read the headline.
who knows?
I don't know. Yeah.
No.
Well, this is what age will do to all of us. Look at this. This was probably about the same time, 94. You recognize that guy?
Yeah, he looks exactly the same.
He's the only one that didn't
Uncle
age.
Bill, isn't it?
That's Uncle Bill Shea.
Uncle Bill
Who's
Shea.
that little kid
Yeah.
that's there?
Yeah.
Who's the kid with all the hair there?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a good day,
Yeah,
really.
Uncle Bill, yeah.
We had a couple drinks out on
Now,
Ogden's
did you and
porch.
Bill go together, or you just happened to meet up the same day?
I took Bill with me on a
Bill,
trip.
yeah.
We had a.
And where was this?
That was in. It's a small little village near Cologne called Lomar.
Yeah.
I visited him 6 times. He was always very nice to me.
He's a
You know,
big
it's
guy.
interesting
Tall.
that Gunsche was in his 90s probably then, and yet he still looks almost the same as he did as a young man.
A great tan, too.
Yeah.
I think he died about 02 or 03, something like that.
Yeah, right after you saw the movie Der Untergang, the Downfall.
yeah.
He died, I think, shortly before that. I think that came out in 2008.
This is a great picture.
Yeah. I love the antlers on Bill.
Bill still looks exactly the same. That
Yeah,
guy
he
doesn't
does.
age.
That's what happens when you take care of yourself.
Well, old Bill.
Yeah, that's good stuff
You
there.
collectors, I'm sure, know Bill Shea. He's been operating a lot of years out of Boston area there, and good guy. Sells a lot of good stuff.
I've been lucky to meet a lot of soldiers, well-known soldiers from the German Army, Luftwaffe, Knights Cross winners, and
Yeah.
I wanted to show you this picture of probably the most famous Luftwaffe colonel ever. I had the chance to meet.
Who was whom? I can't see it upside down.
Werner Klemperer, you know who that is?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Werner Klemperer, yeah. Wow.
There was a theater group, I think down in Sea Isle, back in the early 90s, and they were trying to get membership. So my friend Lenny Sipkins, he's right there, he said, why don't we go down there and see if we can meet Colonel Klink? Because he was a fanatic about Hogan's Heroes. So my other friend Bill Watson and I went down there, and we thought we were going to automatically have to join.
Yeah.
And so we walked in, and they had an open bar, a great food spread, and they said, hey, welcome, if you want to join after you hear him speak, you can if you'd like to. Well,
Let me ask you, when he spoke, did he sound like Colonel Klink, or he was just such a great actor that he separated himself completely?
just such a great actor.
Yeah, because he was just wonderful.
Yeah.
What was that for again, Bear? Was it a convention for TV?
It was a theater club.
A theater club.
A
Okay.
theater group,
Okay.
and
He
they
was
were trying
touring
to
in a theater
recruit
club.
new members.
Okay, I see.
So we went, and they never put any real pressure on us to join. And he spoke for about 45 minutes, and then we sat outside of the place, and it's just my two friends. Who comes out but Werner? He comes outside. He spent about a half an hour with us.
Is that so? Yeah. So he's a
And
nice man. Then.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah.
And I asked him his favorite episode of Hogan's Hero, and I won't get into that, but he told me which one it was. And before we left, I said to him, you know, you made our day. And he goes, no, you made my day.
The so-called dealer wad.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that. Everybody has a dealer wad at the show. You know, you play clumps like that. Half the guys, it's probably all ones in the middle, but the hundreds look good on the outside.
All right.
All right, here's something I brought. My good friend, you met him at the last Allentown show briefly. My friend's name is Paul McCracken. He's a retired school teacher. He was a lifeguard down in Ocean City.
Oh,
He was
good.
in the military. He was a paratrooper, and he's a character. But
Where did he teach in school? What was
I
his,
think he was a history teacher.
oh,
Yeah,
good,
pretty sure. And he comes to our shop, and we get together quite often. And he's hooked on your videos.
Oh,
So I lost my first name. He doesn't call me Barry. He calls me Collector. So he asked me if I would bring these two daggers to show you and get your blessing on them.
are they his daggers?
They're his daggers.
Well, I hope I'm in a blessing mood, and I don't want to get in trouble here. He's such a nice
No,
man.
he'd get me in trouble.
Well, that looks like a Sewell piece, doesn't it, Ob?
I guess I can't really see it.
Can't tell for sure, but
Yeah, it's kind of a blonde grip, sort of.
yeah, it's got that Sewell look. Beautiful grip. Really nice anodized scabbard, and the three-piece hanger. Yeah, this is that walnut wood, you know. It's really gun stock wood is what they use.
And lacquered, too.
Lacquered. That
Yeah.
was factory done, too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll see these where somebody thought, the last guy that owned this varnished
Yeah.
it, and they wipe it off, you know. And yeah, that's if it's got an SA or a TH, it's going to be this is a Hocko.
Good call.
It's a Hocko, yeah. Hocko was one of the other ones that used walnut grips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Hocko daggers. They also have marks inside usually too. Yeah, that's a great piece. Just for fun, if this is loose at all, let's just. You don't think your friend would mind?
No,
I
I
think
don't.
so.
No. He
'Cause,
knows you're an expert.
these are. I'll do it gently, because these are very interesting inside. Usually, anyhow. But let's just see if this one is.
I can't believe you let that Whitman open my dagger, Barry.
I didn't cause any. I didn't do.
He'd be honored, believe me.
Okay.
I just would like to see the inside of it, because they're kind of fun usually. Yep, there it is. See the numbers written in there? They're the only maker I know that did that.
They numbered it.
It's just a parts number, right, Pop, basically?
Huh?
It's a parts number, right?
Yeah. Well, this doesn't
Don't
want to.
hurt yourself.
No, I don't think the grip wants to come off.
Probably lacquered to the bottom fitting.
It may be. Well, I don't want to force anything, but you'll see the same numbers will appear on the lower fitting, and that's a nice thing to know, collectors. If you ever get a Hocko dagger, you're lucky enough to get one, because they're very much in demand. Everybody wants a Hocko. You want to see those numbers in there.
Don't tell Paul that I was trying to buy it from him.
Oh shit! Oh. Well, he won't watch the video, will he? Oh my.
I won't tell him about it.
I guess I shouldn't tell the collectors what the dagger's worth either.
Tell him half price.
Just tell them that's a Heiko dagger, not a Hocko.
Right.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. One thing that's worth mentioning too, when you see a Hocko was the only true maker that was in Berlin. You know, you'll see the NPEA Bergsmuller is listed in Berlin too, but they were kind of an assembler more than a maker. But Hako was actually.
Can I take a look at the dagger, Pop? Let me see the.
One other thing, let me just put it back together again. And the one thing about Hako too, because they were based in Berlin, apparently they had a large enough market just in that city alone that they really didn't distribute pieces any other place. So they'll always be marked with a B, yeah. So let me get my greasy hands off here, a better rag here. I know you collectors hate it when I touch the blade, but I didn't have any choice there. And does it still look like I didn't take it apart?
Looks great.
Yes.
Looks okay, good. All right.
So can you give it your blessing for Paul?
I'll give it more than my blessing. It's in
wants it.
heaven.
Well, I'd like to see it, if that'd be nice, instead of you just looking at it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
I didn't see the blade, I didn't see the maker, and I didn't see the cross guard.
Boy, yeah, that's not fair to the collectors. So I'm babbling on, and they don't even see what the hell I'm talking about. So, oh, boy. You know what it is? You get so in with yourself with this stuff when you're looking at these things that you just don't think about anything else. At least I don't. Because I love stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, it's a great dagger, yeah. We'll have to talk to your production team about getting a little more organized here.
Yeah, right. Production team! Oh, they didn't answer. I wonder what happened. But that's a real killer there.
Yeah, those are good daggers.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Pop.
The scabbard is
Thank
nice
you for
too.
sharing.
Yeah, finally, right? Don't cut yourself, Barry.
I'll take that one. No, I have the bag over here. The one that you gave it to me. The bag is over here. It's a separate bag.
Let's see what we got next. Oh. Gee, I wonder what kind of dagger this is. Well, of course, it's a shame about the hanger.
It's hanging on there, but yeah.
It's and this is one you don't take off to look and see if there's numbers inside, or that'll be the end of it. You just got to leave it alone. Got a little dent in the ball.
So it's a little more than that.
Well, yeah, a little bit more, but it's not split though.
No, it's not split.
No, it's not split.
Good solid hit.
Screws have never been turned. You know, that's something collectors. I don't think I ever mentioned this, but with early essays and all, I always like to just go like this, and you can feel right away whether a screw has been turned or not. Because people invariably use the wrong size screwdriver, or and they'll get
It's a little
buggered.
lifting.
Yeah. And there are collectors that won't buy a dagger unless the screws have never been turned. You know, oh yeah,
They're not going to have much of a collection.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
This
much.
piece recently came out of Delaware, and the guy, a young guy actually brought it to our shop, and his grandfather brought it back. Well, our buddy Paul came in, and he's been looking for one, and he had to have it. So,
what else I see too is that when you see this kind of patina, this is the dull color that nickel takes on over the years, and you can see right away when you see this, it's never been cleaned. Nobody's ever touched it, at least since the war.
now this is a super early one, or
It's very early from what I see so far. It's extraordinary too. The grip is literally perfect on the obverse. The reverse, well, there's a little chip there, but it happens.
Yep.
Well, let's see, and of course we got the nickel eagle. Yeah, nice eagle in there. I love to look at how well they're fit too. You know, sometimes when you see gaps with the eagle, it happened with shrinkage of the grip, but a lot of times you better look again. Maybe the vets dug out the eagles, and then later on some collector replaced it. But I mean, it's no big deal as long as it's the right eagle, but you know, you like to see the original thing in there. And the SS runes button is really, really nice too. But let's see what we got here without disrupting the... Oh, wow, nice blade. Very nice deep motto. You can see all the grain in the blade. Very, very pretty. Wow, it's a herder. The reverse of the blade is mint too.
It's numbered too.
Numbered. Look at there. Have we looked this number up at all? Aha. Well, there you go, collectors. You can see that.
And this makes it even better.
Oh boy, look at there. Yep. Yep. There, the throat is also matching numbered.
You don't see that too often, right?
Not as much as you'd like to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it maybe, what, 20% of the time, if that even.
Well, yeah, 20.
It's a beautiful.
It's not as common as you'd like it to be.
The veteran's grandson also contacted, I assume, Ross Kelball to get his personnel file, and the number turned up. Not a real interesting career, but Paul, the owner of the dagger, he wanted me to have you open the cover because there's something in there for you, from Paul, for looking at things.
It's not something that's going to jump out in my face, is it? Okay. Oh, that's great. With
yeah, take them out of there. Add them to your pile.
Yeah. Good. He can make it through the next 10 minutes of the video.
Paul?
Paul, yeah.
Paul, you're a good man, and I do admire your taste. Along with the matches. These are the same matches that I get from my cigar store, so he may have gone to the same store for those DeNobiles.
What's nice is there's English translations of some of the documents in here.
Yeah.
The file actually ends in 1939. Who knows what happened to him. A lot of these SS enlisted men got called into the Army, not the SS. And that may be what happened to him.
That's true. That is true.
Paul did read the English version here, and these are court proceedings here. This guy was a habitual drunkard.
Good for him. Sounds like my kind of man.
How dare he?
So his name was SS Unterscharführer, so he was a sergeant.
Fritz Frank. Yeah,
Fritz Frank. Yep. How about that? Well, he's got to go back early to have a dagger like that. Do we have the year that he joined? I'd like to see the year that he joined, which would tie in with the early dagger.
Right here we have one.
Yeah, there we go. 1 May 1933. See, I told you that. So that's a 34. There's no such thing as a 1933 dagger, even though it's a model 1933. Because they didn't start making them until February 15th of 1934. So, yeah, how about that? Oh, it looks like this Obersturmführer had quite a bit to say about our friend here. Fritz Frank, SS Unterscharführer. There was an Oberscharführer, so he wasn't the highest sergeant either.
Right.
Yeah. Here he was in 39. From 1933 to 1939, he got from private to low sergeant. He must not have been an exciting guy. But he was probably a good man, good, reliable.
It says he was drinking Imperial whiskey.
Where does it say that? Does it say he's a drunk in there?
It does, yeah. Well, I shouldn't say a drunk. I didn't read the whole thing myself, but he got in trouble for drinking at least this one time.
Well, that was the one time he got caught. It's like they say about people that get stopped with drunk driving. They've done it 50 times before, but this is the only time they got caught.
That's right.
Well, that's a very exciting thing. I like the fact that he was an imperial drinker, too.
Right.
And that was your friend's dagger, too, huh?
Yeah, he bought it from us, and we bought it from the veterans.
Well, thank you so much
grandson.
for the DeNobiles. I really appreciate that. Paul, right?
Paul
Paul.
McCracken.
Thank you, Paul.
He calls himself Phil.
I was gonna say, is his bro's name Phil?
Phil McCracken.
He doesn't get it.
And thought I'd bring this along. As you know, my dad was a mailman. I think he was a mailman for 34 years, and we lost him March 23rd of 2020. But believe it or not, my dad and I always liked to buy postal items, Third Reich postal items. Here's a picture of my dad right there. His name was Edward Smith, but he went by the name Mickey because his grandfather had that nickname, and his father had the same nickname.
And he's a vet too?
My dad was a Navy vet. I always tell people
Navy man.
I knew your dad for many, many years.
Yeah. First time we met you was at Greenbelt.
Yeah, well, that goes back to the 70s.
Yeah, it was. It was about 75, 76.
All the local shows, at least within the 3-4 state area, we would always see Barry's dad, and you got any helmets? You know,
Yeah.
he's always. How many helmets did he ever have at one time during his life? It must have been a bundle of them.
Hundreds.
Literally hundreds?
Yeah. But now I've kept about 100, but they're all real gems. Yeah.
Yeah, well, in those days, too, it was a lot safer than it is today.
Well,
and,
it's unbelievable how they've skyrocketed helmets.
Oh, yeah.
Single decal Army, when I first started, 1974, $25, $35.
Yeah.
Now, a real nice one, they're $1,500, possibly even $2,000.
Well, with 100% decal
Right.
and
Makes a big
beautiful
difference.
paint,
Yeah.
mint liner.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
15 anyhow.
yeah, the
You're-
mint ones, yeah.
Yeah,
You
you're
bring
probably right, yeah.
So there's a variety of field post items here, which is the military mail service, if people didn't know what that
Yeah,
was.
you'll see that on old envelopes. It'll say Feldpost, and that means it was mailed through the Army post office channels. And
Back in 1986, when I first signed up for AOL, which very few people use today, my email address is feldpost@aol.com.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
I've had so many people write to me and say, how in the world were you lucky enough to get that? So, more insignia, Feldpost cuff title, 4 or 5 ID books here for...
Are the ID books people that were involved with the post office?
Yep, every one of them.
Isn't that neat? That's interesting, yeah. Actually, these postal guys had pretty nice shoulder boards, didn't they?
Really fancy. Yeah, you can take that. And while we're on the topic of Feldpost, these are some of my favorite flags. Either in the field or, I guess, within
look
cities.
At those things. Wow,
that's a rare piece.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
This
cool.
one's completely untouched with the two.
Well, to show the guys where to go. This is where you mail your stuff.
Oh, that's great. I love
That's
that.
wonderful, yeah.
You don't see that.
Beautiful condition.
Yeah.
Are these wood? Yeah,
Yeah,
wood. And,
to weight it down.
yeah,
And it's interesting, it shows the arrow going that way,
yeah.
but if you flip it over,
Well, it depends on what
that
side you're
way,
looking
right?
at it. Yeah, they're still going the
Or,
same
let me
way.
see,
Yeah.
No, I thought one of them was
Yeah, they're all
double-sided.
going
Yeah,
to the-
yeah.
It's just where you see it.
Well, it's a printed thing, and you would think if this was backwards, the swaths would be backwards. So
No,
I
it's
don't
not
understand why they
backwards.
would do
They're
it.
Look, that's going that way, and that's going that way. They're going the same exact way. It's just on which way you're looking at it.
Right.
Oh, you're right, Bob.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Here, let's
Michelle, give me another drink.
Yeah, get him another
let's
drink.
just make sure. All right, Tom, which way's the post office?
It's going that way. It's going that way. Can I get a 3-cent stamp, please?
It's going that way.
$3 stamp, maybe.
It's going this way.
That's a fantastic banner. I've seen some postal banners before, but I've never seen them
Oh,
like
it's
that.
mint
They're
too. It's really mint.
mint condition, yeah. I can't imagine that was out in the field where the artillery was going on and all. That
It
looks
was
like
probably
it
hung
was
from
something
like
pretty
a
local.
soffit or like underneath a roof or
Well, I
something.
have some
like that.
actual pictures I'm going to show you in a second here.
Oh, and you can see where the attachments were
Yeah.
on the
But
end.
what do you notice about this one that's
No,
different?
no arrow.
Yeah. You
Because
could
this
work
was
here,
right.
bro.
This was right
Yeah.
over the door, I guess, or something.
You have arrived at the Feldpost.
While I'm looking at it, can we say that it appears to me that the eagles are identical Would this be the established Postal Eagle then?
That's what I think.
They're
Yeah.
actually slightly different.
Yeah.
They were slightly different.
See
Bob, you see
see how
everything.
bold it is there?
Yeah,
and
the other
how
one's
straight
lighter.
line?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
the
but
same,
it's the same-
Eagle
same
style.
thing.
Same
Yeah.
Eagle style, but
Yeah.
not the same exact
Well, it's because it's a
duplicate.
different company
Different
did this one and
stamping.
that one, but it's got the, I mean, the 3 notches there, the 3 notches here. It's
This
all-
is the road sign. This is the more defined you're here
'Cause
sign.
I always wonder, you know, what is a Postal Eagle? You know, you get insignia, oh, is that, I don't know, but it should look like that then. Is
I gotta tell you, I've never seen them before. Those 2 great
And
pieces.
This is neat too. It just says post, but it's definitely felt post. This
Sure.
is, but
Is
then
it-
again,
is it
look
the
at
same-
this eagle. It's much different than that eagle.
Yeah.
A lot more detail to it.
And
it
it's-
just
it's
has more
canvas instead
detail,
of-
but it's the same
It's canvas instead of cotton.
image.
It's on canvas.
Oh,
Some
Yeah.
GI cut it out of the frame,
Yeah,
probably.
right. Yeah, it probably was in a frame. You're right. How about that?
That's great stuff, Barry. You don't see that stuff. Thanks for bringing it. Makes me want to
This
mail
is-
a letter.
What I really like is when you can actually find original photos.
Oh, there you go. How about that?
And here's in the field. You were talking about one being used in the field. Here's a
Hanging
soldier
from
with
a
one
stake,
hanging from
yeah.
a pole.
Oh, yeah.
And mail call.
Oh, that's a nice one hanging there with all the GIs.
And I wonder. So this was the crew at the field
Post
post, I
office,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Notice
Can I
that-
get into my safe deposit box? I want to see if I got any of them there daggers today.
Safe deposit box.
Interesting. Look at this. One of them has the arrow. One of them doesn't.
Yeah, but yet they look identical. But then there's something on top of the other one that says
What's it say?
Feldstomp with the
Feld post
arrow.
ump.
Yeah,
Field post office.
yeah, ompt. They love that word ompt. You
Oh,
see
yeah.
that all over the place.
Cool
Did you like
stuff.
these, Ob?
I like them. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I like them too, and they're in really perfect condition. Really, really great.
I think we have two
Now,
more
why
things.
why wouldn't we see more of this? I mean, the post office, I think, with servicemen, I don't care whether you're in America or Germany or Japanese, everybody wants to send a
Well, I
letter
gotta
or
tell
get
you,
a letter.
they're
So
probably
you'd think
pretty
there
rare.
would have been a lot of those facilities.
Probably pretty rare, Pop. You know, how many could there
I
have
mean,
been?
they had to have made them by the thousands.
You would
Still,
think.
it's
And
not,
they're a small thing, easy to carry, and
Why is it that I've never seen one of those? I mean, we go to a lot of shows, Ob. You don't remember seeing one either, do you?
no, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
all right. Well, we're on flags now. You're really gonna like this next one, because guess who I got it from?
Who?
You.
Oh. Well, that doesn't mean I'll like
I think it was the. I think it was the.
I sold it to you because I hated it, probably.
No, I think it was the second time we were here. You bought that, right, Barry?
After I left, he probably said I stuck him
I
with
was
you.
like, ah, did you see that guy bought that flag? No,
Well, you're
I wouldn't do that
Oh,
to
yeah,
you.
I think
It's a
I
good
know this
flag,
flag,
or I
yeah.
wouldn't have sold it to you.
You're gonna remember this.
And Barry did some research on it, I
Yep.
bet. Yep, yeah, I remember
So
this
this
flag.
is the
yeah.
one that had the silver background.
Right.
Oh, this was a killer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. We thought this flag was something special, but we didn't know, and you conned us out of it. So it is something special, isn't it? Yeah, I thought so.
Pretty special.
Yeah,
So, the thing that you didn't notice at the time,
I love these too. The hanging straps on it, aren't they cool?
you knew it was named at the time too.
Yeah,
The veteran actually stamped his name on the back.
yeah. And somebody
Indianapolis,
verified that. I
Indiana.
think
Yeah.
we had a letter to that effect or something.
So I started with this, and I don't think you noticed this when you first showed it in your video. What side is it on there? How can that be?
Are you making
Bear
this
with
up?
me. Somehow it got
You
flipped.
can't,
There we
can't
go.
wait to
Okay.
show me the mistake that I made here. And I'm glad he can't find it. Oh,
It's in good hands.
Michelle, please.
Sweetly.
Thank you.
another drink, Ob?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah.
What else is there to do? But
I'm having fun. I hope you viewers enjoy this kind of stuff. This is not what we normally do, but it's. I kind of want it to be like we're all together and we're just having some fun kicking around ideas and looking at stuff, and
I just like watching Barry trying to find this thing.
I think I finally, it's so small, and I figured out why you guys
he
didn't
was
see
to
it.
find my mistake.
You got a little tag down here.
I didn't see that, and it's from Bielefeld.
You got it, Bielefeld. Yep.
Yeah.
It says Fahnen Umbach, which means Umbach. That's the name of the couple who made these flags. So it's Umbach flags in Bielefeld. So
why is this such a great discovery? It's the maker name,
all right, wait
which is
for
kind
it.
of nice,
Wait for
separately put on. That means they were pretty proud of it, so it must have been something special, or they
Well,
wouldn't have done that. Right?
This woman was a pretty, well, she was a fantastic seamstress. It's always nice to have the old phone books. You can buy them on eBay, other sources too, but I forget what year this is. 1938 Bielefeld telephone book. We look in here, and it says Agnes Umbach.
Wow.
And she was the wife of Eugen Umbach, and it says that they made embroidered and painted flags. He was a painter, Kunstmaler, Eugen. So what he would have been doing, most likely, on buildings, he'd have been painting flags and the like.
So she was noted in the phone book as a seamstress that could do this quality bullion work. That was her specialty.
And this was like right in downtown Bielefeld, too. It wasn't a side street.
Yeah.
It's a well-known area of Bielefeld. So
Wow.
I found the obituary of, I don't know how to pronounce it, he was Greek, Robert Calivas. And interestingly, they don't often do it in an obituary, but they actually mention the division he was with, 84th Infantry Division and 333rd Infantry Regiment.
This was the veteran that brought the flag back.
Who stamped his name on the back.
Yeah.
And I found a picture of him and his wife.
Let me
right
look at
after
that.
the
I
war.
want to see it. Wow, he's a handsome guy, and his wife is a looker, too.
Yeah, not bad.
The American brides always look better than the German brides, I think. I don't know why that
Hey,
is.
don't get German. German made us.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. Oh, I'm sorry, girls. Oh, boy, I'm in trouble now.
What he could have done is had her dress made out of this flag, though. What do you think of that?
I don't think so.
But it's interesting. This is the Wikipedia entry for the 84th Infantry Division. And look what it says right here. After crossing the Rhine on April the 1st, the division drove from Lembeck toward Bielefeld.
Is that something? Wow.
So there you go.
Well, guys, you know, now, this, just to reiterate what happened here, Ab and I bought this, we thought was a really nice flag because of the quality of it and so forth. And we never got a chance to offer it because I think Barry was up here one day and, oh, I want that flag, so okay, he got the flag. But it's not just a piece of cloth anymore or with bullion. It's become, I mean, literally something almost alive.
Yeah,
because you can
associate a face, a person with the item.
And along with the veteran that brought it back. And I think the fact that he stamped his name on the back of it and so forth. I mean, you know, how many veteran things have we had over the years? And some of them might have a piece of paper. I brought this back, but a rubber stamping of that's unusual.
It is.
And it just kind of, to me, he liked this. I think he probably looked at a lot of the other flags the other guys had and said, well, that's the best one I've seen. Mine's better than yours. And as it turns out, old Whitman kind of jumped the gun here. And
you want to buy it back?
No, you're going to enjoy it.
It still doesn't explain the silver swastika, though. The silver field.
Her shop was a specialty shop, so she probably
The bullion's
used
beautiful.
her.
Yeah.
Just imagine, I know some of you girls out there are collectors too, and if your mother's taught you sewing and crocheting, just imagine the kind of work it would take to make that kind of a pattern in a gold bullion besides, which is hard to work with. I don't know whether they did this by a machine. I don't know, but it's
Just watch out for that denobly there, okay?
I think some is machine and some is hand done too. It's interesting. The back of it's just a simple cotton.
Well, there was no point in doing anything with it.
You know how this would look really great, I thought, hanging from a wall, and if you had a Hitler head standing in front of it. This is the kind of thing that you would see like in a...
well, I'd like it on a wall. I'm not so sure I want to look at the Fuhrer in front of it.
But you know, entrance ways to like a city hall, something like
during
that.
the period.
During the period, would have something
probably,
like this with Hitler
I'd
head
be
on it.
interested.
For saying that, I would have been shot, so I was the wrong thing to say.
I'd be interested to know if anybody else has ever seen a silver field like that before. So I'll just throw it out there.
We never have.
I've never seen it ever again.
Well, maybe it exists on some of those fancy standards. I don't know, with the silver.
Yeah, I've never seen it myself.
No, it's so well done. It's very good. Yeah.
All right, 2 more items. You holding up all right, Tom?
I'm holding up fine. I'm worried about
so
the
this
viewers
is something
here.
interesting that you'll never see again. That is rare, but really kind of cool.
Look at this.
Really great.
We were at the Mac show,
man.
the show of shows in
That's
2019.
a two or 3 year old kid.
You
Yeah,
bought
you're
bought
right
Joe
about that.
Torre's tunic.
And who is it?
Joe Torre?
You don't know.
I don't know who that
You know,
is.
okay.
It's a.
But believe it or not, Michelle spotted this. We walked around the first day.
Cute, you gotta buy it.
So
Boy, that is
got the boots,
fantastic.
Reichswehr style.
Little tiny belt.
That's cool.
And as you said too, this is not for a 5-6-year-old.
Oh, no,
this is
that's-
like for
that's
I
a
think
3-year-old.
3-year-old.
Yeah.
And it looks like the wife
And
probably.
his father would have been a sergeant too, and he
Well,
got
this
the uniform.
only
there.
has one stripe, but that is for
That's a
the rank of
Spies.
Spies.
Spies,
right,
yeah.
Which is a
Spies was the guy
first
that was
sergeant.
in charge of the group. Yeah.
Right, they would call.
Just hold it up real fast so I can get the scale against you guys. I don't think that's going
Yeah,
to fit into
that is
one.
a Spies. That's exactly what that is. Yeah.
That is
They
great.
used to call the Spies the mother of the company.
Yeah.
Look
He was
at
the
the
first
belt.
sergeant.
The
Yeah,
belt.
we already looked at that.
Tiny.
It's great.
And
Boy,
the
that
boots.
is, and it's in almost perfect
The
condition
kid had
too.
big feet though for a little coat. He had his feet were big.
It may be that's
with-
a small
with,
size you could buy.
with trousers,
Yeah.
The trousers.
Oh, the trousers are with it too.
But
Wow.
I really believe these are definitely Wehrmacht issue buttons.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
the material is maybe
It looks
from
very much like
old pair of
the
his
stuff
pants.
You see on the 42, 43 uniforms.
I know I might be pushing this, but you think it could be like in a sample?
No.
Taylor sample?
That was
No.
very common
No.
for soldiers.
You have to
especially-
remember, Germany was a militaristic society
Yeah.
going back a couple hundred years, and that certainly flowed over to the Reich, Third Reich too. To go, in Germany, from what people tell me, Sundays was always a nice day to go walk around the city and all. And if you had a uniform and a sword and all, that was part of the.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
class.
I knew a German soldier who lived right in Millville, and he says, if you weren't in the army, you were nothing to the women.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only thing
This was the
better is
coolest
that
kid
if
in
you had a
town.
picture of the kid in the uniform.
Yeah. He's the coolest kid in
That's-
town here.
no, we gotta
Oh, that is a great
But you
piece.
can imagine this Spies walking around in his uniform with this little fella holding his hand on Sunday morning going
Yeah.
around the town.
I forgot about the helmet.
And I don't doubt that he probably may have had a little kid sword made for him too,
Yeah.
Well, what do you see
Why
there?
not?
Here's the coup de grace. Came with this, too. As you know, I'm a helmet collector.
Yeah.
And I know other helmet collectors, but this is the absolute nicest child's helmet I've ever seen. It's got 100% of the decal.
Yeah,
and it's an
I've never-
actual Army decal, too.
Doesn't even look like it's ever been worn.
Yeah.
Is this the same size as the?
Yeah, that's
it
the
is.
standard Army decal. Look at the liner in this thing. Usually they have the
I'm
paper.
still looking at the paint.
And what's it made out
It's,
of? It's not metal. It's like
tin.
it's a thin, lightweight metal. Wow, yeah,
It
that's
looks brand new.
that's incredible. Well, the father bought this for his son, but the son wore it once.
That's what it looks
That's
like.
about it. Yeah.
But the greatest part about this is you could always get a deal at a show, even though there's hundreds of dealers or collectors walking around. So Michelle spotted this and said, "Hey, you got to look at this." So it was a older guy, probably in his 80s, right? I think mid 80s or so. And we said, well, how much do you want for this? Because he wanted to sell it all together.
Oh, the helmet was with the uniform?
Yeah.
Everything, the boots, the helmets.
So
and
he said 6. So
I thought it was
Michelle and I looked at
6,000.
each other and said,
600, or does he want 6,000?
Yeah, right. You never know, because that's happened before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we said 600. He goes, yes, $600, and that was 2019.
And there was people behind us that wanted to buy parts and this and that. We were like, because he just
Well,
put it out.
that was a bargain.
We got
it
lucky. He
was,
just put it
yeah.
out on the table.
Yeah, there's no way you're breaking that up. No way.
And it's going to be in our museum when we open it in March.
That is a great piece. I love
We're going to
it.
get a mannequin for it.
With that kind of story, not too long ago, I was looking at a...
Is there any markings in the boots or on the bottom of them or any kind of
the
issue
kid
number?
actually wore the boots quite a bit. There are markings that says,
Oh, these are definitely worn. Even got the cleats on it.
Yeah, you
you
got
know.
the
it
cleats.
says store built 1800 or something.
Hey, look at
800,
that.
18 on there. The kid wore the boots a lot. I think he wore the
Yeah.
uniform too. I just didn't use the helmet much.
I was looking at a framed, a beautiful silver frame painting of the Red Baron, and the frame was named the Red Baron too, and it was just fantastic. I says, "How much is it?" And the guy says, 25. I said, "Oh, great." And I got 2,500 out. He just, "Sorry, pal." He throws the money back at me. 1,000. I thought, I felt like such an idiot. But then again, I guess I should have known that. Well, I should have asked further, I guess.
This
but,
is the last item.
Okay. This is a very significant piece, and I really, really treasure this. On D-Day, there was one German general who was killed by the 82nd Airborne. His headquarters was in, I think you pronounce it, Peakville. That was near St. Mary Glees, and everybody's heard of St. Mary Glees.
He had an hour to go, and he didn't make. He was killed.
Well, he was supposed to go to a war game on June the 6th. So the night of June the 5th, he left in his staff car for Rennes, France, which was south of Peakville. So as he's traveling along in his staff car, he's hearing the airplanes overhead. And so the car turns around and goes back to his headquarters because he thought, hey, the invasion has begun. Well, as he's heading back, there's a checkpoint there that's set up by the 82nd Airborne, and long story short, they dispatched him right there.
And so he didn't make it. Geez,
yeah.
a young fella too.
He was 47 when he died.
Look at the Knight's Cross, and
his,
I don't know what that medal is underneath there. I've never seen that before.
Thorn Award of some kind.
Yeah.
But his name was Wilhelm Folly. And about, I would say, I don't know, 5 years ago or so, his grandson sold everything to, what was on a website, I forget what the name of the dealer is, but I really considered buying this because it has one of his uniforms. Oh, I wanted to mention too that the Germans retrieved his body. So it's not like his body was just laying there.
Yeah.
The Germans retrieved his body, they were able to bury him, and they sent all of his items back to his wife in Munich. And so all of his award documents, you can see his Knight's Cross, all of his medals.
That
this
was all with the uniform. Wow.
Yeah, and I couldn't afford to buy that. And
No, that had to be worth a
Yeah.
good sum.
before that was offered, the grandson kept one item, and he sold it to a dealer in Germany, and I was able to get it.
You knew the dealer, or?
I didn't know the dealer who originally got it from the grandson.
Yeah.
But here you have probably the most significant D-Day helmet in existence.
Wow.
Wilhelm Folly's helmet. And again, I don't know where it was retrieved from. Was it retrieved from his car? Was it back at his headquarters? But he was going to a war game, so I would think that the helmet might have actually been in the car.
Decals 100%.
Yeah.
So how do you know it was his helmet?
Okay. I knew that it belonged to him, but didn't even know that this was in the liner at the time. You can see right here, General, it's very light, General Folly.
Oh, wow.
And it says München, and then it says Hubertusstrasse, Hubertus Street, 20. So again, the good old phone book.
Wow.
1937
Boy,
Munich.
that just ties it right in.
Phone book, Wilhelm Folly, Hubertusstrasse, 20.
So you know for
Yep.
sure that's him.
Yep.
Wow. Boy, this phone book stuff is pretty good,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Wow. That's a feature of research that most collectors have never got onto. But what a reliable thing! If you can get a phone book from the city
Yeah.
where these people belonged, and
A lot
you
of
can
them-
find them in there.
A
And,
lot of them are online. You can
Yeah.
find them online. Yeah.
boy, that's neat.
Yeah.
I know you were able to do that. I have a painting of the Kaiser that was done in I forget when, 1902 or I don't know, but the artist was there, and you were able to find the artist in Berlin or someplace in the phone
Yeah,
book
yeah, yeah.
and listed as an artist. So just that's great stuff.
See, and not everyone in Nazi Germany had a telephone either. So they also had what was called an address book. Everybody had an address. And
Yeah.
they're huge. I have some of them in my collection.
So they had books that just had addresses because they didn't have phone, but if you wanted to
Right.
write them a letter
Right.
or whatever, you
Yeah.
had the address.
So you might look at a phone book and say, he's not listed in there because, like for
Yeah.
an infantry soldier.
Yeah.
But then, if you look up the address,
I
in
didn't
the
know. I
address
didn't know
book.
they had books like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
next time I come, I'll bring up examples.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, that was
All right.
some really interesting things. I hope you.
Can you refresh your drink? For the
Yeah,
last
why
one?
not? That was some things that I've never seen before, and really fascinated me.
Good, I'm glad.
And I appreciate the way you could show how you've authenticated the things too. You know, that really makes it come home. You know, and so many times we see, oh yeah, this belonged to so, yeah, sure, you know, but when you do stuff like that, like I said before, it makes it come alive.
Yeah.
It's not just a piece of paper or a cloth or a hunk of metal. It's truly part of history. And for those of us that really enjoy the history, that makes it so much better too. I think, and I think you'll probably agree. Of course, the time period is still very controversial. But there's not a doubt in my mind that in 100 years or whatever, hopefully not that long, some of these things, in fact a lot of these things will become true museum pieces. People will eventually forget the hatred and the awful regime that it was and the terribleness they did. And it'll just become something awful, but it happened in history, and it did happen, and I think it's important that we know what it all was and document it all, and eventually it will be in museums and will be appreciated by historical people. It always.
Yeah, because there's people still alive today. I mean, there's still combatants.
Oh yeah, well that's.
I
the thing.
follow how many U.S. Soldiers are still alive, and right now it's about 100,000 people who served in World War II are still alive.
That's what's left.
Out of 16 million.
And most of them are 99 or
I think
106.
the youngest you can be right now to have been in World War II and saw any kind of combat is 98.
Yeah, well there you go, yeah. But another thing I would like to say too is that I think that guys like yourself and myself and the hundreds or thousands of others that are in this hobby, we're all, even though we're just collecting this stuff because it's enjoyable and profitable sometimes, we're really doing history a favor because a lot of people in this world would want to shove all of it into a dumpster and just forget that it ever happened.
Yeah.
And I can understand
Yeah,
that too.
sure.
There's no question. A lot of these people were awful people. A lot of them were just like anybody else too. That general you just showed me, I think he's an army officer. He probably was a cadet during the imperial period, and all he did was, his country was at war, and he had to perform his duty, and that's what he did. So we're supposed to throw his entire career in the trash can and say these people were not worthwhile at all or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I don't often like to hear the word Nazi soldiers, because we don't have Republican soldiers or Democratic soldiers. It's
it wasn't even, a lot of the soldiers weren't Nazis anyhow. They never joined the party,
right.
and they shouldn't be called that.
Especially feel bad for the draftees, the young draftees. They didn't want to be fighting over in Russia or anywhere else for that matter.
Hey, you read some of these stories about, say, the U-boat groups. I mean, 80% of those people died. 80% of them, and they were all 19, 20, 24, something like that. And they were just fighting for their country. If America went to war, we're fighting for our country too, and it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just to end it all, I don't want to get on all this stuff, but I think that we do is worthwhile, and we are preserving history. It is history that a lot of people don't like, and I certainly understand that because there were some terrible things. But still, it happened, and I feel that it's necessary that it should be documented like we've done, preserved, and someday, maybe somebody 100 years from now will thank us for it all, but certainly not today. Say, what's the matter with you guys saving this stuff?
At our shop, most people come in, they're absolutely fascinated by what they see, really. We've had maybe only one person who is a bit appalled by seeing a swastika.
Well, just think of it too. It is fascinating. We're only talking a couple of generations ago, and to think what could have happened back then. I mean, it's unimaginable, really, but it did, and it's not something you just throw away in a trash can because you don't like the history.
My dad used to say they made one hell of a collectible.
Yeah, they did, and it's fun to collect it too, because we know so many people in this hobby that are just the nicest guys.
Yeah.
And gals, don't forget too.
And gals, and a lot of gals too. And collectors of these things are not what the general public would think that they are. They're anything but.
That's for sure.
So, thanks for coming.
You bet, Tom.
We
it was
really
a pleasure.
enjoyed it. Michelle, thanks for the booze.
You're welcome.
I like your tie too. That's a nice one.
USA.
Thanks for coming out, Barry and Michelle.
All right, you're welcome, Bob.
Right.
Bob Burns.
Bob Burns.
Bob Burns cutter, yeah. Up to the bathroom or
No, don't do that. Just say, okay, collectors, we have some other things to show. 3, 2, go.
Okay, collectors, we have some more things that came in this week that I wanted to show you. I think you'll be interested in them. Have another sip here. The first thing, you say, oh, okay, big deal. It's just a panther head sword. And when I first bought this, I thought, yeah, it's just a panther head. But look at the eagle and the amount of detail that's in the feathering of the wings. Plus, the eagle head is turned to the right, which most swords are turned to the left. And the lion head is particularly nice with all the detail.
Oh, this is the spine too. I think that's essential.
Yeah, the spine is really, really cool. Really, really well done. All hand accented. And the lion head is particularly nice with the accenting to the whiskers and the brow on the head.
Can you hold the head up? It's got double red eyes, right?
Yeah, double red eyes. And
it's like you in the morning, right, Pop?
Yeah, double red eyes, yeah, in the morning, yeah. But then what's neat, too, is the reverse languette has just a great monogram. Look how that's done. I'm not sure what the letters really are, but they're really cool, I think.
That's a nice piece.
Yeah. And then the scabbard is just about mint with the original paint. This sword was not used very often, and the blade is fantastic. A full mint blade. It's really, really nice. Really great blade.
Who do you think the maker is on this, Pop?
Well, that's the interesting part. I looked through all my books. The blade is unmarked. There's no maker mark on it. And what the thing that's astounding, usually I can find any sword model because there's, you know, from the Angolia sword book and so forth, but I cannot find who made this sword. The maker is unknown to me, but a very special company, whoever did this, because of all the work that's involved. So I think it's a really neat sword, and if anybody out there can identify the maker, I would like to hear about it. But if not, it's I guess it just goes down as one of those swords made by a small company that was so small they didn't produce many swords, and that's why we can't find an example of it. But there you have it with that. So that's pretty cool. And then I have a couple of other things that came in too that I think are kind of neat. I'll show you the cloth pieces first. I'll show you these afterwards. We have a flat out mint wool NSDAP SA armband. Beautiful, with no flaws whatsoever, no mothing, and the separate satin lined satin field and separate swastika. And then in the on the other, it's sewn in the back too, so it was worn, and it still has the original issue tag with it. I think, you know, if you're collecting SA armbands, a type like this in wool and so forth is really a nice item to enhance the collection. And then the next thing that I have is a really nice NSKK motorcycle pennant.
Well, that's mint.
Absolutely mint. It's a double-sided canvas, red canvas, and the hoist is a separate.
Yeah, this is usually leather, but it's not. Yeah.
And you see leather trim on most of them too, but this one is not, and it has the separate applied NSKK insignia on both sides. There's the other side. Extremely well done, and the original rope is still in it.
Yeah, it's
with
different.
a loop on one end and tie to your motorcycle on the other end.
Yeah, that's different. I like that one.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice. Doesn't look like it was ever used to me. I don't know. It's nice to get, though, things like that. I'll put this armband in with it. And then along with this grouping from the same person, I got a couple of really nice daggers. This is an NSKK early with the original black paint, and you never see paint that well done and well preserved. I mean, it's really a beautiful dagger. And then look at the grain in the bottom half of the grip. Very, very pretty.
Almost tiger-esque.
Yeah, tiger-esque. That's the word, Ob.
Yeah.
And then on the reverse, it has it too. It's even bolder.
Yeah, that's great.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, that's very nice.
Beautiful. And this is a. I somehow lost my glasses here with all this. I found them. I found them. Put my glasses on and we'll see that this is a WF. That's a Westfalen group mark. Boy, I love the paint on this scabbard. It's great.
That's in great shape. I love the grip too. I love how the little accent at the bottom.
Oh yeah, it's cool. And then the blade is really great too. Beautiful nice. Blade. Yeah. Got a little oil on it, but look how the motto has all the frosting and then the maker mark. You got that, Ob?
Yeah, I got it.
The maker mark is J.A. Henkel's.
Oh boy,
just the best.
Yeah.
Just the best. That's a very, very nice nice piece. You know, to find an early NSKK that has really nice original paint with the nickel scabbard fittings and all, it's really really difficult.
And the Henkels too.
And the Henkels to boot, and the grain on the grip. It just
yeah, that's a good dagger pump.
That's really I don't think you'll find a better one. And then the last piece. This is a nice piece too. It's early SA with a 3-piece, and look at the leather and all. It's really great on the 3-piece, and beautiful fit to the grip and the nickel mounts, and really fine anodizing to the scabbard.
It looks like there's something going on here. I don't know.
It looks like maybe a little hit here, but it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Not bad. And then the reverse is...
The balls are 100%.
100%, yeah. And then we have a HA group. You don't see that too much.
No,
that's Hansa.
Yeah.
Hansa. Hanover, I would think that is. And then we'll show you the blade. And of course, it's just look at the blackening in the backgrounds of that motto. Just fantastic. The blade is in mint condition. Really, really beautiful. And this dagger, which is something that you'll say, oh, it's an E&F Horster. But you know, for those of you that collect SAs, you'll know that E&F Horster didn't make many SA daggers, as they were just entering the business at that time, and they apparently hadn't promoted their company that much.
That's amazing. I've never seen, I mean...
You know, you see a lot of Horster armies and Luftwaffes and all, but on this early date, Horster was not a prominent maker. So a Horster SA is, I think on the Mixar scale, it's about a 7. But I think it should be rated even higher than that, because you just don't see it.
No, you don't see it. That's amazing.
And what a blade too. Oh, yeah. just fantastic.
Good stuff, Pop.
I think it's good stuff, yeah. So there you go, collectors. That's all I got this week, and hope you enjoyed that.